Welcome back to 99 the News, and today we're talking, once again about Social Security. Everyone's worried, everyone's concerned. What's going to happen to my Social Security benefit? You have officials like O'Malley coming out saying that you may miss your check in the next 30 to 90 days, which was absolutely overblown. And now you have investigations going for the new Social Security head, Frank Bisignano. And people, I want everybody to take a step back. Take a step back because a lot of information being thrown at you currently, whether it's fear mongering about Social Security going away, fear mongering about the whole system being corrupt, fear mongering from Elon Musk about it's a humongous Ponzi scheme. One thing I want you all to understand is that for anything to get done with Social Security, it's going to take an act of Congress. And we know how that feels and how long that will take. And I said this in this wonderful article here on 99 the News in this current Newsweek. I said, I actually think Frank has a solid chance of being appointed. A lot of Trump's picks in the past made it through, even when people initially thought they had no shot. Now, I want this to be clear. Any significant changes to the Social Security system would have to go through Congress. That includes things like benefit cuts or changes to how the system works. So while executive orders can tweak aspects like the Social Security Administration, whether it be staffing, service delivery, real legislative change will need a vote. So I want people to understand that if Social Security was going to change drastically with Social Security, it would take an actual vote of Congress to make things. Also mentioned that Elon did mention that was a Ponzi scheme, and people are concerned because Frank Bisignano, I think that's how you say his name, he basically said that he's a big Dogester, and that makes people nervous because if one person who's the head of Doge doesn't believe in the whole program, then that leads you to believe that an acolyte such as himself would follow suit and may have invoke some changes. But again, Congress has to make those changes. A single individual cannot. I want you to be clear. There are no significant changes coming to the system. There are some changes in regard to how it's being delivered. One such change is currently reducing the amount of staffing, and the other change is going to be about shutting down offices in certain parts of the country, and that's going to force people to actually go a little bit further to go to a physical location. And finally, one big issue is about changing the dynamic in regards to verification of oneself on phones. They're no longer doing phone verifications, which is going to be huge for many Americans because a lot of them that are receiving Social Security may be visually impaired, maybe immobile or an elderly, so they can't just go on a screen and do all the things that it's going to take to get these things done. But what do you think? Are you afraid of the Social Security system going away? Yes, there's some issues with it, but they are trying to do a better job getting it up and more technologically advanced. But for the elderly, they need to slow down and allow them to work themselves through the system and stop dismantling the system within. Because when you start doing that so quickly, you are basically going after the cohort that's ultimately using that system. Thank you guys for listening to 99 in the News. Subscribe to the 99 News podcast. Until next time.